Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot, and welcome to what is, I believe, the very best mod in the history of Jurassic World Evolution. This is the Mixed Eras mod by Kyodenic. Does lots of very cool things, really cool things, that we'll talk about very shortly. But there's also an assist coming in from Harlequin's Ego, who made, of course, the Terrain Tools mod. And very kindly, they've agreed to combine both mods together. So if you want to download both and use them both, which in the past was only possible if you knew how to inject files, you can now do that. So as you can see, we've got Mixed Eras here. Like I said, I'll show you that in a sec. But we also have the fantastic Terrain Tool mods. Go give both mod makers lots of love. I will link the link. That makes sense. I'll link the mod down below in the description. Definitely go check it out if you have Jurassic World Evolution on PC. Everybody should download this mod. I'm not kidding. Everybody should use it. Literally everybody. It may play havoc with some of your saved sandbox files. It was absolutely fine with mine. That's always a little bit of a risk. Just back up your saves and your files beforehand as per usual. But, right, so Mixed Eras mod, what does it do? Well, the main thing it always did in the past was it allowed you to use everything in Jurassic Park mode. So here I am on the Jurassic Park era. I loaded up Sandbox in Jurassic Park mode. And despite that, and as you can see by the helipad, Jurassic Park, and the Park Tour, Jurassic Park, and there's a visitor centre, despite that, we have a modern hotel, we've got the monorail over here on my little paddock with 5 Indominus Rexes and some very unfortunate herbivores. We have the Jurassic World viewing gallery. So on a basic level, if we say hop into guests, you can see we've got the Jurassic World stuff and the Jurassic Park stuff combined. All of it works. So this means you can play with both sets of buildings all together. So operations, same thing. Lots and lots of buildings, scenery, same thing, power stations, we've got all the different varieties of power station. So by and large, it means you should play all your sandbox games in future in Jurassic Park mode, and now that I can actually use this mod, we're definitely going to be doing that. It also gives you something else. This is a more minor point, but you've got your fossil center. You can only have one of those, even in sandbox, because frankly, there isn't much reason to have more than one usually, except for creative reasons. Well, those creative reasons are pretty cool. So now you get the off-grid versions of all of those buildings, which means you can plonk these down repeatedly, whereas usually we'd only be able to have one. And you can now use them for decoration purposes as well, which is also pretty cool. That was a needless limit for Sandbox, really. If you want to have tons of greenhouses, if you want to have tons of anything, really, there's no building limits whatsoever. Have as many of everything that you want. All very cool stuff so far, and I've not even got to the cool stuff. So, the main feature and the main reason, and we are going to be using this mod in every single park build going forward. This is a little tricky to use, and I am using another mod which I would highly recommend, and that is the Expanded Pylons and Fences etc. mod, also by Kyodenic. The two are a very good fit. And that, as we've seen in the past, I have shown you this mod, gives you lots of path options. And what we can do is if we scroll down here, hopefully it's working, yes, there we go, this is going to be absolute perfect timing. They may get hit by a car. It may be terrible timing. Oh, they actually turned around because of the car. Oh, that's so cool. I've never actually seen them interact with the car. So that's nice that they kind of dodge. I mean, they die, but that's okay. So in case you can't grasp how big a deal this is, we have guest crossings on Jeep tour tracks now, which is phenomenal. It's very exciting stuff. Guests can cross over these tour tracks, when in the past that was of course not at all possible. That was literally impossible to do, and you couldn't weave your tours throughout your park because the guests wouldn't be able to move through, and now they do, and they just back off when a car actually appears. Now the process to make this work is, I will admit, a little bit finicky. It took me about 10 minutes to get the hang of it, and I'm definitely still not. That's why this whole area is super duper ugly. But Kyodenic has a very helpful video on YouTube. If you check out the mod down below on nexusmods, which I've linked in the description, follow that tutorial. Generally over time you'll piece it together, and I think we can build some very cool stuff. I don't know if this works with the gyrosphere. I think it might. I know it doesn't work with the truck tour, but it works with the Jurassic Park Jeeps. Not Jeeps technically, I know. It works with the Explorers, and that's the coolest one in the game anyway, so good stuff. I love that. They walk over. Look at it. This is a bit, if any of you have been watching or playing Evolution for a long time, you'll know how big a deal this is. I think it's really, really cool. Anyways, I'll just stare at that all day if I can, so we have to focus on other things. So not only do we get all this, and we get the mixed decorations and the mixed buildings, but we get lots of brand new decorations as well, which you'll see if we swing over here. Now, unfortunately, they don't actually function, but as you can see by this here, and this over here, over here, placed it somewhere. No idea. It's this one here. This is a arrival point, which on a lot of the Jurassic World mods is where your guests would arrive from. And if we go into guests, I think. Yep. Go into guests, as you can see, you get the monorail point, and you've got arrival points, like so. We've got monorail arrival tunnels, we can place those down as well. As I say, I don't believe they're functional. I have been doing some testing and they don't seem to do anything, but again, if you want to decorate, you can do so. I'm trying to think if there's a way you could... No, I don't think so. Anyways, but what you could do is have a monorail that people like curving through them. The monorail will pass through the buildings, so you can use them as decoration or whatever on your actual functional monorail tracks. And yeah, that's all really cool stuff. We also have some other new stuff, and that is this right here. So every Jurassic World park in the game has like a unique entrance sign. Here's Jurassic World Monorail Gate Isla Pena, and here's Isla Sorna, and here's Matanceros. You kind of get the picture. The difference really is they just, of course, have different names and slightly different text colours. But if you were playing on the Jurassic Park one, and you wanted this little entrance thing here just popping up there in the distance to kind of give your park a little bit of theming and to make it feel a bit more official, you can now plonk these down. You could even do themed sections. Oh, that's a cool idea for a park. You could have like a Matanceros section and a Pena section and a Sauna section, and only have dinosaurs from like that you'd unlock on those islands in that part of the park. You can do stuff like that because we have more options. Not even done yet. We have a little bit more. You may have clocked it just a second ago, but if we go observe this monorail track right here, is my main one, you'll see that the monorail has very suspiciously stopped in the middle of the track. Now, in my opinion, this goes on for a little bit too long. It does drag a little bit. But if we hop over, I wanted to hop over to the other one, but basically, when you're building your track now, I'll tell you what, let's just do this very quickly. If we hop over into guests, put down a monorail, whatever, we don't need to. So this is a monorail gate, you put down your monorail track, blah, 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 and then you get a new type of monorail track called the monorail lookout stop. And that does what it says on the tin. Basically, as the monorail goes round, when it hits a... Oh, hello. When it hits a certain point, you're about to see it here. So this one goes around. That's where my monorail stop is, my lookout stop. Oh, hello. Where are you going? Guests don't seem to come out, but at least it functions. The monorail will stop. So if you've got a particular part of your park that you're super proud of, and you want to show off a little bit, and you're using the monorail to guide people around, then you can put this stop in, and the monorail stops. And when you view it, of course, unless it's going to show me the other one, which it is, but usually when you view it, and if you hit the right one, you'd be able to look out on that part of the park, and it would never move. It would be, well, it would move eventually, as you just saw, but you'd have a long, interrupted view of that part of your park, which is very cool. The hope is in the future. I think they've mentioned it's more difficult and they haven't managed to crack it yet, but if we could do the same with the park tour, that would be amazing. Can you imagine we're rebuilding the T-Rex attack scene from Jurassic Park 1, and you want them to stop outside the T-Rex paddock whilst it's raining and it's nighttime, and have the cars just freeze there for a little bit? That would be very cool, and hopefully that's something they can crack in the future, but there's a lot of good stuff here. There is one further thing. The only thing I believe that requires the expanded pylons and fences etc. mod, and that is, I'll show you very quickly. If we go into gate, if we go into scenery, we have down here lots of different gates. We've got Gyrosphere Gate, Jurassic Tour Gate, Jeep Tour Gate, and the Jurassic Park Gate, which you now put anywhere you want. And you can, as you can see, link it to a path. However, I will say, despite that working and linking incorrectly, I haven't managed to yet get guests to actually go through it. It says that it can be placed on guest paths. I haven't quite figured it out yet. I don't know if it's bugged or if I'm stupid. It's just a very possibility, but I haven't quite managed to figure it out. Even when I put it in a very busy traffic area, people simply didn't walk through here. I don't know if I'm misunderstanding the mod description or something, but again, that would be a very cool thing if that would work. Either way, this is a brilliant mod that increases our creativity yet again. Combine this with the terrain tools, which no longer has to be standalone. That was always the problem, they were always separate mods, and for a lot of people who don't have to inject mods and stuff like that, you wouldn't ever be able to use both in once. And that's why I haven't covered mixed areas before, despite it being one of the best mods out there. Now that's no longer a problem. You download it, you drag and drop, installation is super duper easy, and you make something very, very cool. I think you'll all agree. Every park I build from now on will be in Jurassic Park Sandbox, and we'll have some fun with it, I think. Very excited about this mod. Definitely go check it out. Give both Kyodenic and Harlequin's Ego lots of love. They absolutely deserve it. Jurassic World Evolution modding has been pushed in the last couple of months or so to just levels we never thought we'd hit, and it's very, very exciting. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, if you're excited about this mod, if you think it's cool beans, go give them some love. Hit the like button for me, give me some love. I'm very lonely. And I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.